Jai Hind. I am Major Mohammed Ali Shah. I've had the proud fortune and privilege to have been educated at one of the best boarding schools, not only of our country but in the world. Yes, Lawrence School, Lovedale. This is my old school battle jacket, my old school tie, my old school Monday kit shirt. Anyhow, I'll tell you a small incident that happened. Though there are a lot of stories from our boarding school days. Well, one small story I will tell you. It was the year 1991. And we were all waiting to celebrate our 13th birthday. We were about to become teenagers. You know how the feeling, the euphoria is when you turn 13. Well, then the Founders' Day came. And on Founders' Day, we saw a group of some people who looked at that time to us very old, ancient, of about 50 group of 50 people who wore the similar shirts, similar hats. They came towards our junior school. When I say junior school, I mean our dormitories, our classroom, our basketball court, the court triangle was there, right? So they came towards our school and they were like, "Oh, I used to sleep over here. This was my bed, this corner." And the bog basically means toilet in Lawrence School lingo, language, right? So the big bog and the small bog used to be here, there. Wow, things have changed slightly. Some things haven't changed much. And hey, one more thing. I wrote my name on a brick. I engraved my name on the brick. Let's see if it's still there on that stone. Oh my goodness, my name is still there after so many years. Look at that. So basically, these were pass outs, these were old Laurentians, these were alumni of a school of, I think, perhaps the batch of 1966, who were celebrating their 25th reunion in 1991. And we were all in class 7th at that time. So we saw the kind of bonding and the kind of unity they had, and the kind of brotherhood and the kind of friendship they shared. So we all started talking after that, okay, one fine day, even our day will come when we would celebrate our batch's 25th reunion. And we calculated at that time, if everything goes well, this is the year 1991. So by the time we finish our 12th and by the time we pass out, we would obviously be the batch of 1997. If all goes well, which means if no one fails. Anyhow, so now 25 years from 1997 would mean the year 2022. Oh my goodness, it seemed ancient dreaming of the year 2022 when you are in 1991. But now, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, the time came. This is the year 2022. Let me tell you all, I have just returned from my school reunion. The batch of 1997 celebrated their 25th reunion this year at Lawrence School, Lovedale, and we were 45 plus people who landed up in school. Some of us were not just meeting after 25 years, some of us were meeting after 30 plus years, because we will not take it from 1997. Some of us left school in 91, 92, like that, right? So, and it was great. Let me tell you, your school friends are your best friends, your college friends again. Your childhood friends are your best friends. Why? Because their motive is nothing but pure friendship. They're not expecting something from you. There's nothing to give or take from you. It's pure friendship, unconditional friendship. And it was amazing. I'm still having the hangover of meeting my old childhood friends. Well, now a small secret which I've been very, very shy speaking about for many, many years. I spoke about it in my TEDx talks, of course. In class 9th, I topped my batch, but from behind, which means I failed in class 9th. Now, failing in class 9th, that too in a boarding school like Lawrence School, Lovedale, was very embarrassing, a real challenge, something to feel ashamed about, and I have been very embarrassed speaking about it all these years. But now I have gained courage ever since I became a motivational speaker. I became a motivational speaker because I realized if I can influence people's minds and help them with the mistakes that I did, what better joy is there in that, right? So I learned fail basically means first attempt in learning. When you hear no as an answer, it means next opportunity. When you hear end, END, it means an endeavor or an effort never dies. I remember in school in 1991 itself, I went up in large hall, auditorium of a school. Our school was known as a famous large hall. And I forgot my lines on stage. It was again very embarrassing. That night, this small little boy that I cried a lot. I wept. I howled. I missed my home. I missed my family. But here, I had a different family, an amazing family of my friends, my teachers, who many of us knew us better than our own mothers and perhaps cared for us even more. That doesn't mean to say that our mothers didn't care for us any less or didn't know us. They knew us very well. But our teachers, that was the bonding we shared with our teachers. They were strict with us in our class. And they were our friends in our games time. They would wear the shorts and they would play with us in the sports field. Anyhow, now when we met, my goodness, I am still having the hangover. I haven't got over the exuberance of meeting our old school friends after 25 plus years. And each time I've fallen down in life, my dear friends, I've bounced back much stronger. So I would say the best thing that happened to me was failing in class 9th. I was very upset that time, of course. You might find it funny, you might laugh. But that time I was very upset. But today when I look back in hindsight, I was perhaps the only one from my batch to make it to a Premier B school like the IIM Calcutta and passed out with the topmost placement on campus. And the time when I forgot my lines on stage in Large Hall, let me tell you, in the year 1996, a couple of years before I passed out, I won the best debater, the best actor. I won a lot of elocution competition in school. And I became basically a stage man. So much to the fact that in the year 2014, after passing out in the year 1998, of course, I went back to school to direct the Founders Play. I directed Fiddler on the Roof with live music, not recorded music. And thereafter, I happened to have given the highest number of TEDx talks in the world. Not just in India, but in the world. And how did that happen? What's the secret? The secret is very simple. And I became a motivational speaker today not because I was smarter or more intelligent or wiser or more talented than anybody else. No, I wasn't. I definitely wasn't. I am not, and not even far, not even near to that. But I became a motivational speaker today because I have made more mistakes. I have seen more humiliations, more sufferings, more hardships, more struggles, more heartbreaks than anybody else. Very interestingly, when we were having our school reunion, in the party, a WhatsApp forward came. And it read something like this. The topper of the class is a happy homemaker. The backbencher of the lot turned into a very wealthy and a successful entrepreneur. The flamboyant fashionista turned into a dreaded lawyer, and the often ignored Joe became a well-known writer. Ah, and the boy who failed in the maths paper became a very famous and a celebrated fashion designer. And the boy who often stood outside the class, remember? The outstanding boy became a respected army officer. Ah, interestingly, on 14th February 1991, when we were not even teenagers, the girl who I proposed to and who said no to me, today perhaps, I hope, in fact, she would be regretting it. Well, the reunion taught me how people come with different layers and how we should never judge a book by its cover. Because each child out there has a different success story. And I stuck on to my school mantra, my motto, which is never give in. You know, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you are trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but have to sigh, when care's pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. See, life is queer with its twists and turns, and all of us sometimes learn. And many a person turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. So don't quit. Though the pace seems slow, you may win with another blow. Often a struggler has given up when he might have captured the victor's cup. And he learned too late when the night came down how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint in the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It might be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst. You must not quit. Don't quit when the tide is lowest, for it's just about to turn. Don't quit over doubts and questions, for there's something you may learn. Don't quit when the night is darkest, for there's just a moment until dawn. Don't quit when you've run the furthest, for the race is almost won. Don't quit when the hill is steepest, for your goal is almost nigh. Don't quit, for you're not a failure, unless and until you fail to try. So I feel I'm living my dream of finally having achieved the long, old ambition of almost 3 decades of coming back in the year 2022 for our school reunion. Miss my school friends a lot. Miss my teachers. And one more thing. I went back to the junior school, where the internet told you in 1991 when we saw this group of about 50 old uncle and aunts coming over. So I was thinking, for these class 7th boys, I also would be that old, ancient uncle, even though I may not feel so, even though I may spit in my school uniform even now. But that is how time changes, and how it is growing old is relative. Like in class 7th, our class 12th used to be like, oh my goodness, very senior. But when we came to class 12, people were like, oh, class 7th is too small. Take care. Never lose touch with your schoolmates. Take care. Jai Hind, and never give in.